Creating success out of failure. Creating success out of failure.
I'm Jonathan Federa. I'm here to inspire you to hustle and grow your income while doing what you love. Just because you have problems doesn't mean you can't prosper. Just because you have tragedy doesn't mean you can't triumph. Actually, you should be taking advantage of that.
There's positivity in my pain. I took scarcity and turned it into strength. I always tell life, there's not much you can do to me where I won't make an obstacle an opportunity. We never lose, we only learn lessons. If you wanna change your perspective. If you don't know how to do that, we'll show you how right now. This is about to go down. You are tuning in to creating success out of failure. Creating success creating success out of failure. Out of failure.
Hey, welcome everybody to the show. Thanks for coming. It's Jonathan. I got Evan here, and one of the things I wanted to go over is 75 hard, right? I just completed it last week. This isn't a humble brag, but it kind of is. You know, it's not easy to do, and I kind of want to talk about, kind of give it a review. Like, a lot of people talk about it, a few people finish it, what I learned doing it, and I think what the challenges are, and a lot of people, and what's next, right? So we'll get into all that on the show. And honestly, I've never done anything like that. I think you can see there's a lot of fitness challenges out there. Evan, I don't know, like I always see everyone tagging everybody in like a push-up challenge, or, to me, I think those are just like a fad, You're not really getting a full workout in, doing 10, 15, 20 push-ups, not it. 75 hard is a different beast. It really is. So for those of you that don't know, you can look it up, but I will go over what it is. Essentially what you have to do is first off, it's 75 straight days. Okay. I think that's the hard thing that you got to realize. 2, you have to do 2 45-minute workouts. Okay. One outdoor, one has to be outdoors. Okay. You could do 2 outdoors, but you can't do 2 indoors, which means if it's pouring, monsooning, you're going outside and you're doing your 45-minute workout. You have to drink a gallon of water a day.
Really quick, what would be considered an outdoor workout? Just like running?
That's like any type of workout you can do outdoors. So I don't ever think there's no cheat code to 75 hard, right? Let's just fucking throw that the fuck out. There's no cheat code, right? You can do things that make sense. Like I bought a row machine. I bought, some outdoor plyometric gear. A lot of people buy a weight vest, so they'll do they'll walk with a weighted vest on or run with it. For me, I liked running, or I would, sprint and then walk, sprint and then walk. So yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do outdoors. And honestly, for me, well, let me get through everything and then we'll get into the outdoor workouts you can do. So,
okay.
Because I think that's important, especially if you're considering doing this. So you do a 45-minute outdoor, 45-minute indoor workout. You drink a gallon of water. To me, that was the easiest thing. Like, I drink way more than a gallon of water a day. You're sticking to a strict diet, okay? And there's no alcohol. You got to read 10 pages a day of a self-development book, which I do anyway. And I love that part of it. And then you're taking a progress pic. Okay, so let's kind of back up here. I started 75 hard probably 9 months ago or 8 months ago, and I didn't realize that you had to take a progress pic every day. So I got 26 days in, and then I found out about it, got frustrated. I'm like, you know what, fuck it. So I did try it prior and got somewhat far along. And I will tell you something. If you're going to do 75 hard, you have to know mentally that as soon as you say you're doing it and you're committing to it. Because failing or falling back, probably the worst feeling you could do, because you're letting yourself down, right? You're breaking a promise to yourself. And at the end of the day, if you can keep all the promises to yourself, you're going to be a lot happier. All right. So I think before I get into my big takeaways, we'll talk about like some of the things we did. And like, what questions do you have for it now that I outlined everything?
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Two workouts a day, at least one has to be outside, and we can talk more about that. But yeah, that I thought of like hiking or running or walking, or I guess you could do some indoor workouts outside, but I don't know if that would count or not.
No, you could. I mean, listen, you could get a bench, right? If you had a bench, and I have the Bowflex weights. So this whole time, during quarantine, I haven't been able to go to the gym. So thank God, I have a climbing machine, a Bowflex, a spin bike. So I was able to do everything. But if I wanted to, there were times I brought the Bowflex weights outside. If I said, hey, I really don't want to run today, and I had a row machine too. So in my garage, I have the row machine, the pull-up station, a climber, and then I had all the plyometric stuff.
So I guess my question would be then, when you say it has to be an outdoor workout, it would count then if you did some stuff that you would do, say, in a gym, but you did it out on the lawn or something.
You just got to be out. Yeah, you got to be outside.
Cool. Okay.
Now when you're doing it, you got to think. I started this thing in February, so you're doing it outside and you're freezing.
Right. It's a big commitment to do it regardless of the weather outside, for sure.
Absolutely. There's a lot of times you're doing it in the rain. I know I was checking. There were times I checked the weather and be like, oh, well, let's see. Should I do my outdoor workout in the morning or at night or what? And then there's times that you forget. The hardest part about 75 Hard is not just the consistency. It's fitting in the time. It's getting the time in to do what you need to do. So my point to you is, in a perfect scenario, okay, you're probably going to wake up and you're going to do both your workouts. You're going to pound some water, whatever your diet is. Like, my diet was pretty easy. It was no bread, no pasta. I cut out all the processed carbs, right? I would still have fruits, vegetables, steak, occasional rice, and I'll tell you, I felt great. I still feel great. I haven't gone back to that. I'm still reading every night. So there's a lot of it I kept. But when you have to fit to an hour and a half worth of workouts in your day, read the 10 pages, make sure you take the progress pic, it's a lot to do every day, and it adds up. So there's times that you're doing your last workout at like 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Okay, which means you're not getting a full hour of sleep, which means a full night's sleep, which means you're probably waking up early, you're tired, and then you got to do it again, and it's just a grind. It's a constant grind. But you know what? You feel great. I lost a ton of weight, but the biggest thing that I got out of it, honestly, is you can do so much more than you think you're capable of. That's the truth. When you finish, I don't want to say if, when you finish that, you know that you can do so much more than you're capable of. That's the biggest thing I got out of it.
That's something that really struck me when you were talking. Is it reminded me of how often I may hear the excuse, and I've been guilty of saying this myself, oh, I don't have time for that.
Yep.
Honestly, I think that's kind of that's a stupid
Total
excuse.
cop-out.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have time for anything.
Yep. And I'll tell you this, there are times in 75 Hard, and this is, some people talk about it, some people don't. Some days are easier than others, right? Especially when everything's coming down on you. Now, there's some really funny shit I can tell you guys about. Like, I shit you not, I had dreams that I fucking cheated on my diet, and I woke up and I was like, what the fuck just happened? Did I really just eat like Sour Patch Kids or something? Imagine, like, that's what wakes you up out of your sleep because you're so committed. Okay? So that was really, really cool. I'll never forget that. I think that happened to me twice. And I woke up, I was angry, man. I was really pissed.
That's funny.
And then there's things like you get like these little bumps and bruises, right? So when a lot of the outdoor stuff revolves around walking or running. And I actually liked the running. Towards the end of it, I ran 5 miles in 50 minutes. Never did that before. So that was a really cool accomplishment. Now that's nothing. If you look at, like, obviously, Nate Bailey and, some of these guys that train, to them, that's like easy. But for me, that's a little much. And I'll actually keep incorporating some of that stuff. So that was pretty cool. So that was fun. But you get like blisters, right? So I had blisters on my feet for a little bit. So pushing through from that. Well, I like to jump rope a lot for the outdoor workout. I wouldn't obviously do it 45 minutes straight. I probably do, the first 10 minutes or the last 10 minutes, depending on how hard I was going. And doing that, you develop blisters on your feet. You pull a muscle here or there. I think the worst was day like 72 or 73. I pulled out my back bad, to the point where the only thing I could do was walk. So I had to walk I just walked for an hour and a half, and you're pushing through it. You're definitely laboring through it, to the point where, like, even now, like today, my back is finally starting to feel a little bit better, but that was bad,
Wow.
and that, yeah. But I'll tell you, man, it's a program I think everybody should do, right? And I'm going to do it once a year moving forward, because there's a lot of things you don't think about. Like, some people like to socially drink, okay? This is going to sound terrible, but I've been socially drinking for a lot longer than, since I was a teenager, right? Going 75 days without socially drinking, you realize, like, how much, one, other people drink, okay? And two, like, I honestly did not miss it. I didn't miss it at all. At all. So, that was a pretty cool thing. That definitely, made me realize a bunch of stuff.
Nice.
What other questions you got?
So it was 2 workouts, 45 minutes each.
Yep.
A strict diet. Now, is there a specific diet, or is it
no? You can pick
just
your diet.
a healthy diet?
Well, you could pick your diet. Like, maybe you go vegan, or maybe it's calories or macro. But whatever your diet is, you stick to it. You don't change it up, and you gotta adhere to it.
Okay, yeah. And so it's just the 2 workouts, the diet, and the progress pick, right?
And drinking a gallon of water.
And drinking a gallon of water.
Reading 10 pages of a self-development book. Okay, and the strict diet, yeah. No alcohol.
Right. Nice. Okay, yeah. Well, it's interesting because on paper that doesn't sound too complicated, but then when you go in and do it, especially if someone's already living a fairly unhealthy lifestyle, then it's a very, very big transition. I can see how that commitment would be difficult, but it's something that would be amazing. I mean, I can see from what you're saying. I mean, it sounds like it really made an impact on you.
Yeah.
And
I dropped like 20 pounds.
Wow.
I dropped 20 pounds, and just mentally I feel a lot better. I think now there's different stages. Now you have phase 1 and phase 2, right? Which are 30-day commitments, but they also add in different things like phase 1, which is what I have to go on to next. And I'm going to go on to next. A lot of people ask, are you going to continue on with the rest of it? You're doing everything in 75 hard. You're adding a 5-minute cold shower. That's a problem for me. I hate cold showers. Okay? A 5-minute cold shower and 10 minutes of visualization. And then I think at some point there's a power list. I have to check the rules, but I'm gonna do that. Like,
That's level 1. So then what did you already do?
I did 75 hard. 75 hard is the base. You have to do that. And then you go phase 1, which is a 30-day challenge, and then phase 2.
Okay. So it's kind of like a 3-part program.
Correct.
Okay. And then each step adds something else. So phase 1 is 75 hard plus the shower.
Oh, yes. Phase 1 is the same as 75 hard for 30 days, plus a cold shower and 10 minutes of visualization, and I think a power list. So there's things that you have to absolutely add, which I'm definitely going to do that. And honestly, my lifestyle, I really liked, how it was through there, So I did take a break. Absolutely. I took a break to kind of rest my back once I finished. Um, I'm
Well, yeah, I
ready.
mean, sometimes if there's an injury that's really bad, then you know
Yeah.
you don't want to mess it up worse.
No,
But yeah,
absolutely not. I will say though, it absolutely was worth every second of it. The injuries. You could talk about whatever happened, but it was worth doing because when I first started it, I thought it was going to be about a physical transformation, which it absolutely was. There's no way you go through that program and not come out of it physically in much better shape, but more so mentally. Mentally, just the confidence it gives you to know that you can do so much more than you think you can do, and that you're keeping those little promises to yourself. That no matter what, you're going to get certain things done. That to me was the biggest benefit out of all
yeah, that's incredible. So where can if listeners are interested in participating, where can they like where did you learn about this?
of it. Follow Andy Frisella, and he has. Let me just see what the website is. Give me 1 second. I'm going to look it up. I think it's 75hard.com. And you know what? I'm sure a bunch of people. I know a bunch of people that have done it. So it's not like you're running a marathon or anything like that. But it's not. It's not. And I've never ran a marathon, so I can't compare it. You know, it's just I can tell you it's one of the harder things I've ever done, or if not the hardest thing I've ever done. And it's cool because you could look at the Andy Frisella 75hard.com tactical guide to winning the war with yourself. If you look at like the before and after pictures, okay, it is incredible. It is incredible with what how it's transformed people. And I would say that the physical transformation is nothing compared to how you feel about yourself afterwards. So
Have you interesting question. Have you noticed any change in your business and how you have gone at that and any new successes or anything like that through doing 75 hard? Because I know a lot of times when you go to improve yourself,
you
your
improve your
business
business.
improves.
That's a really good question, Evan. It's hard to answer, and here's why. Well, I know I've definitely changed, and I've improved myself with everything that's gone on in this pandemic. My business has absolutely altered and changed. We had to make a lot of different adaptations, good, bad, and different. It's been challenging for everybody. Okay, it's been challenging for my advisors. It's been challenging for my staff. It's been challenging for me, my partners, my clients, mainly the clients, right? Because a lot of people have had to close down or alter their business, and I I'm over it. To be honest with you, I'm so over it. So I think to answer your question, have I noticed a change in my business? I th- I don't think so. I think I would have if it was normal times, right? The fact, you know what? I can't say that. I've gotten a lot of progress. A lot of big projects I've been working on have gotten closer. Okay, we're getting closer to completing them. If not, they're completed and they're actually moving forward. So yeah, I've seen progress, right? In my mind, because of the stress that this pandemic has created with business in general, and then especially with what I do, it's hard to notice the progress. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Plus, sometimes, I mean, I feel like, progress, I mean, it can be measured in so many different ways, right? Some people will be like, I haven't achieved this yet, so no. But like you were saying, if you've moved closer at all, then, that's a
Yeah.
win.
Well,
So,
you're right, but you know what? So one of the things I've noticed about myself, especially lately, and then after finishing this, I don't fucking celebrate shit. Like I am literally never fucking happy about shit. It is really fucked up, you know? Like I mean I can't even believe I'm saying this, but like I always have to push for more. Like there's never a time when, I'm celebrating like small wins. Yeah, and I actually think it allows me to reach certain things, like certain goals, especially early on, a lot earlier than most people would. But I also think that it's like mentally draining, and I don't think it's a great quality. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Yeah.
Like,
What made you think about that? What made you realize that?
uh, honestly, just things that I do. When when uh when when I look at like certain things I'm trying to do, I feel like progress is never fast enough. You
Mm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like progress is never fast. I feel like after I achieve something or do something, instead of like taking a minute to like be satisfied with it, which you should, like you absolutely should do. I'm like, what's next, or how do I make it better? That does that make sense? Like that's not,
That makes sense.
yeah,
No, that makes sense. And sometimes I'll have to like really make an effort to do that as well, right? Right, like to celebrate any wins. Because it's true. I mean, there are always goals, right? And the whole point of a goal is you want to get to that goal. But then when
yeah,
you reach the goal, it's not like then you're done, right? You set the next one. Um, so yeah, I get it.
yeah. It's definitely challenging. I think it's good. I think it keeps you driven, but it all like I think part of getting better and wiser with certain things is being able to self-evaluate, right? So, with what I just said, I think it can be a positive and a negative. So you have to kind of learn to regulate your stuff, right? So the regulation comes in when, all right, cool, I just achieved something. Maybe I should take a day off, or maybe I should, celebrate, or do something, you know, do something rewarding or fun.
Yeah,
Versus, all right, get back at it and get back at it and get back at it, because you don't want to burn out.
right.
Yeah. So anyway, let's go back to 75 hard. What other questions do you have?
I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean,
Oh,
it sounds like, I mean, that's, you pretty much covered what it's all about. In and of itself, it doesn't sound very complicated. It's more just the commitment, and it's hard to make it happen.
yeah.
Like climbing a mountain, it's a mountain, right? You climb it. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
it's easy, but it's not complicated. It's
Yeah.
kind of the same thing that's what I get, the feeling I
Yeah.
get.
Yeah. You know, I think the challenge is just the fucking consistency,
Yeah.
right? If you think about it, a lot of people are not where they are in life because they can't be consistent. Okay. They can't be consistent. They can't hold themselves accountable, and they can't do the little things day in and day out that's going to make them be successful. And when you're forced to do it for 75 straight days, and if you miss a day, you miss a step, you miss anything, you got to start from the beginning. It teaches you to be accountable to yourself, to keep the promises to yourself. And honestly, it teaches you that, consistency is the only way to really win. So yeah, you could, let's say you could do a physical feat, you run a marathon. It's going to take you 4 hours, 5 hours. Yes, there's days that you're going to have to be training, but you can train up to a marathon. I don't know if it's going to take you 75 straight days to train for a marathon and be perfect in those 75 days, right? So, to break down how challenging is 75 hard, it, you know, can you do it for a day? Yes. Can you do it for 2 days? Yes. But can you stay with something that is, you're dealing with the minutia, right? And I'm learning this too. I'm learning this with some of the referral partners I work with some of the advisors I work with some of the partner companies I work with. The guys that really have success, the most consistent guys that take care of the little details. I mean, to a penny. And every time I can look back and see like where there's a challenge, where there's a problem, where someone didn't do what they were supposed to do, it's they didn't take care of the details, right? It's a communication breakdown. It's they neglected some tiny thing. Well, guess what? 75 hard makes you not. It makes you accountable to yourself to the point where you're going to take care of the little details, and that's what you need to be successful. Does that make sense? That's why
That makes sense.
That's why it's hard. Like honestly, God, that's why it's hard, and that's what it fucking teaches you. So, you know, if I wish I did this when I was younger, and I honestly, I'm gonna do it once a year, because it's a nice little reminder, and it's fucking humble pie, man. Like it really is humble pie. Like, yeah, all right, I'm cool. I'm doing everything I want to do. I'm, you know, taking care of business, and I'm on top of the world. Then you try to do that, and you're like, holy shit, things got real. Things got hard, you know. So, no, that's my take on it. Like, you know, you should do it. I'm telling you, try it.
No, it sounds
just
life changing, honestly. Yeah, and don't try it. You know, just do it.
Don't
I like
try
that.
it. You're gonna be pissed if you try it. You do it. Seriously,
Yeah.
do it. And when you do it, just know, embrace the suck. Embrace the suck and push yourself, and you'll get it done.
Yeah, no, that's it. Definitely, you know, life changing. I think that's a very good. It's a really good program for anyone to go through. So thank you for sharing all of that.
Yeah, and especially now, I got to tell you, one last thing I'm going to add before. You know, this pandemic is making a lot of people crazy, right? And it's bullshit. Like, I hate everything about it. Literally every fucking thing about it. And I do feel like people are taking shit the wrong way. I feel like people, like, just the politics that's involved is awful, okay? And I'm not going to, I don't, before I go off on a huge tangent, the only reason why I brought it up is to say that I don't think I would have been where I'm at, or I don't think I would have handled this as successfully as I had without 75 hard. It just so happened that I started it before this, and it carried me through it. And thank God, because, you know, this is taxing. Fucking mentally, financially taxing, this pandemic. So
I had that thought towards the beginning of our conversation. Like, I remember when you started it, because you mentioned it on the podcast. You started it not too long before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I mean, it really sounds like it made a huge difference in just how you're able to mentally cope with and process the changes.
Yeah. For sure. Like 100%.
Yeah.
No
cool.
easy way to put it. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, guys, I hope you enjoyed my review of 75 Hard. I really hope you guys get out there and do it. I'm telling you, it will change your life. Evan, thank you for hopping on. And if you guys got something out of this, and I know you did, please share this, give us a 5-star review, and send it to somebody who you think should do 75 Hard. And also listen to our show. Take care. See you next time.
Success out of failure.
Thanks for tuning in to Creating Success Out of Failure. Please share this with someone that needs to hear it, post it on social media, and leave us a 5-star review. I'll catch you on the next one.